Okay, I finally got this thing to work, because it's been a hot minute since I've used OBS or streaming or anything like that, actually. Anyone who's probably here from my channel knows that the last game I played here was Flowers Volume 2, the previous volume in the series by Innocent Gray, and after approximately 2-year wait, Volume 3 got released, kind of without my knowledge, last week, so I'm just a little bit behind here, but honestly, I'm really excited to come back and play this. I don't know, I've managed to avoid spoilers all this time, and I'm kind of going in blind. Like, the only thing I know is going off of basically the Steam description and like watching the opening like 20 times, so I'm really excited. Just a quick rundown for possibly anyone who might be coming here with little knowledge. The Flowers visual novel series is published by Innocent Gray, and it comes in 4 volumes, and each volume focuses on a different set of characters and basically, helps them find romance amongst, all sorts of mysteries and other strange things that are unfolding at their school. And the series, I think, really excels based on its aesthetics. Obviously the character designs and everything art-wise is beautiful. The music is amazing, and the screenplay is excellent. Each character is even the most unlikable or annoying of characters have redeeming qualities, and they all feel very real and human, and all just very intriguing. And my favorite part of the series is how everyone interacts and how they develop. Obviously, the sort of subtitle of the series is The Tale of the Girls Who Grow with the Season, and of course each volume focuses on a different set of characters. So this game, or this this game focuses on the two main upperclassmen that have been introduced in previous iterations, aka Yatushiro Yuzuriha and Narine Komikato, who are the sort of the reliable upperclassmen, top of the class. And their dynamic is they're childhood friends. They've known each other for a very long time. So I'm very excited to see how to get a deep dive into their relationship, because they're very outwardly they're very they're the dynamic duo, but this game always has a very intimate peek under the surface. So just already obviously this opening screen music is amazing, piano driven, as I'm always a fan of, but we're not just here to appreciate that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Again, this is my first playthrough. I am going in completely blind, and just as an aside, before we start, the Steam description of this game, which is all I have to go off of really, is something to the effect of, actually, let me pull it up on my phone here. As the summer heat fades, Suo Shirahane is just one step away from unraveling the mystery of why her beloved Amity partner left in the spring. So, not much to go off of there. I mean, we know that that's a running theme throughout the series, even as Suo is steps away from the protagonist role, and it doesn't tell anything about our main characters, so the mystery deepens, and of course, I'm sure we are going to find a fair share of mysteries to solve, quote-unquote. I'm not sure what that entails, but obviously that's one of the main features of this game, is you have to solve mysteries, or just put your heads together to sort of figure out what the heck's going on and uncover a character's motivations behind the scenes. And if not, you get a bad ending. And yeah, that's just one of the many how they incorporate the visual novel aspect. The other one is, of course, you have to make the right dialogue choices to make sure that like you know, get yourself along to the ending that you want. And the game gives you visual indicators that the fans of this series will already know about, but I will point it out as we go along, just to sort of refresher. Okay, that's enough talking. I've been talking for 6 minutes. Let's do it. I can honestly sit at that beginning screen just forever.
何よりもなくしちゃいけなかったのは心を司る心臓だったってね。恋をしている間、僕は世界一幸せでした。けれど心がなければ恋をすることはできません。オズの魔法使いでブリキの木こりがドロシーへと語りかけた言葉。恋をしている間が世界一幸せだったと。きっとブリキの木こりも恋が叶わないことを知っていたのだろう。私も叶わぬことを知っている。だが私たちの思い出の曲「虹の魔法」を歌い上げる彼女を、その声を、彼女の白く金色に浮かび上がる姿を見て強くほとばしる感情が湧き立ち、伝えずにはいられない。ネレイデスのあなたへ、私がどんなにあなたを愛しているのか、ずっと幼い頃から変わらぬ思いを。
後ろめたい。
So yeah, this game takes place from the perspective of the one, the only student council president, Yatushiro Yuzuriha, who is sort of introduced in the first two games as very like, she carries herself very, very like highly. She's super smart, top of the class. She's very flirty, and she's sort of... Okay, well, I might have to step away for a second. Give me a minute. I will be right back. And we're back. Okay. Yeah, I'm home alone because, you know, not being employed because of COVID is rough. So I might as well just play video games all day and have fun doing it. That means I have to answer the door whenever it comes up, though. Okay, so as I was saying, this game takes place from the perspective of our favorite student council president, Yuzuriha, and like she's obviously like she's confident, she's funny, she's like flirtatious. I guess she always like, you know, she always makes like makes these like sort of joking passes at the other characters. Like, you know, Suo's gotten a taste of it before, and Narine also always has to sort of put up with it. Narine is her childhood friend who she was talking about in the intro there, which is of course lots to unpack there already. It's that whole like I've been in love with you since for as long as we can tell, and it definitely seems like to the surprise of no one that Narine is the whatchamacallit. Hang on, I need to make sure my stream settings are good. Narine is the main love interest. These games always have like a main interest and an alternate route, but Narine is probably the main route. But we got something interesting there as well, where it was like, okay, I swear I'm having some issues here. OBS is telling me I'm live, but you know, YouTube is not. So I gotta get that sorted out. Man, I know I should have planned, I know I should have ensured that this was good beforehand, but I was kind of just too excited to make sure that this is all up to snuff, you know. I'm not getting any data. Okay, there we go. I am live. That's what it's saying. And my stream quality is good. Okay. Oh, that's why. I used the info. I scheduled a stream separately, but OBS sort of made a different stream for me. So that's fun. But it's all good. Okay. Okay, so now that we are sure that everything is working properly. Yeah, it also seems pretty apparent that the Sasaki twins, our favorite, what's the word for it? Slapstick duo, for lack of comic relief, is the word that I'm looking for. They also get some significant, probably get some significant screen time in here. They're always featured pretty prominently in these series, but yeah, I mean, Ichigo probably was narrating that first part leading into this, and we might actually see stuff from their perspectives. So we already know they've been dealing with quite a bit of stuff up until now, but honestly, it seems like they might also be a potential romance route. I was not able to do the alternate route actually, I didn't even do the alternate route in the first game, nor did I do the one in the second game. So maybe that's just a project for a different day or something. But I do want to get through this main route first and foremost. Let me just there we go. Okay, so now that all that's out of the way, let's actually, now that all that little like exposition is out of the way, let's get into it. So what the last series, Summer, after Erika and Chidori finished their arc, that ended probably like around the end of summer, I believe. Makes sense, right? Because that's the theme of the game. So it looks like we've gone forward a month or two, and we are now in October. It's Halloween party, so around that time.
急がないと。私はあなたが好きです。
雨が静かにこの場所包み込んで、少し冷たく並ぶ足音、流される雲が今消えかけてる、覗いた太陽をそっと描く、七色の橋を越えてゆく、手をつないで顔を上げて明日へ、虹の魔法叶えられる、悔やまないである
オズの魔法使いという童話がある。物語は孤児であったドロシーが農夫のヘンリー夫妻と暮らし始めたところから始まる。カンザスの広大な平原、照りつける太陽に大地も家も作物さえも灰色に染まり、ドロシーが色をなくさずにいたのはトトという黒い子犬がいたおかげだと紡がれた。しかしオズの魔法使いの始まりは竜巻によって崩壊し始まる。家ごと竜巻に飲まれ羽のように運ばれていくドロシー。しかし彼女は恐れない。時間が経てば経つほどゆりかごのようだと落ち着いていく。竜巻に遭い最悪に見舞われるはずの未来をあるがままを受け止める彼女に、幼い私はひどく安堵したことを覚えている。変化を恐れないおとぎ話の主人公。これから始まるお話は変化を恐れない少女と停滞を望む少女のお話。
So there's a lot to unpack there already, just 20 something minutes in. First and foremost, that opening theme is crazy good. The openings of this series always make me feel some kind of way, but that one, I really like those like that rolling snare at the end. It makes it feel kind of like a march, as well as like that like heavy reverb on the guitar. I kind of listened to that part over and over when I was watching the preview on Steam before I started playing. But of course, there's the matter of the romantic conflict, which conflicts plural seems to be a lot of on top of the expected one. You know, our favorite childhood friend duo, Yuzuriha and Narine. Obviously, you know, when you've been together for that long, and you know, there probably has to be like some big event to like shake things up. You know, I imagine that's what she's referring to in the intro. The two of them, like how one of them wants change and the other one wants things to stay the same. I imagine what that's referring to. The like how those two like interact with each other. I could be wrong, but I guess we'll just have to see. And then the other, of course, whole deal is with... That's probably Ringo. It definitely looked like her. You know, one of the Sasaki twins who's about yay tall. Yeah, I mean, there's this whole, like, identity crisis going on with her. Unsurprisingly, like, those two, like, are, like, the comedic, like, the comedic relief a lot of times, but they've proven to have, like, some real depth, I think, especially in the first game, and it seems like here Ringo probably has feelings for one of the two, our two upperclassmen main characters, and sees it as a sort of way to distinguish herself from her twin sister Ichigo. I mean, being compared to your siblings is always going to be inevitable, no matter like if you're twins or not, but especially if you're identical twins, that's also, you know, you probably spend like a good part of like your early life trying to figure out whether you should distinguish yourself from them, separate yourselves from them, or act like one person, which, you know, introduces a whole host of problems. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing more of that, and I'm interested to see if this game plays on 2 different perspectives, maybe 3. That's not something that this series has done before, so I would appreciate that. But as we don't know anything right now, best thing, actually I'm going to update the YouTube description of this first, real quick, so I can make it look more, whatchamacallit, look more professional. Unfortunately, this game, because I guess this game's not big enough where it would be big on you, where it could actually type it up on YouTube. But these games have never been very popular here in the West, which is very unfortunate considering like how high quality it is. I mean, I've basically founded this channel now on like talking about why I love this series so much. So. I guess that's what I'm here to do, spread the word, because this game is absolutely worth, like, it was $18 on Steam, I think, and it's worth these games are worth every penny and then some. Yeah, this is not, you don't even... Okay, we are good to go. You can already hear the variation on like the main theme of this series, whereas before it was pretty upbeat, like very like strummed guitars. It's those same chords here, but they're plucked and picked instead. It's pretty cool. I don't remember exactly what the variation, like the difference between the first 2 volumes was, but I always the OST is always a real treat.
この箱は学園。消えた夏の思い出。
Oh, I do have to take a thumbnail picture. Pretty much standard. And then I'll do my whole round of basic editing for it. I'll so I don't think I'll have time to. It depends, but I'll try to get through this first chapter. But I'm not free all day though, so it kind of depends on how long it will take and if I get a bad ending or not. Also, it's similar. It seems like there's gonna be a recurring theme of like identity, I guess, because Yatsushiro was having some similar thoughts as Ichigo/Ringo in the first scene about like dissociating a little bit when she looks at herself in the mirror. So it was done very well in that opening scene, by the way. I really like how like the reflection is like hazy and unclear, and it's very obviously like pardon my pun, but a reflection of how she sees herself and her relationship with her twin sister. It's good stuff. I don't really expect anything less from this series than like quality moments like that.
憎らしいほどぴったりだな。さて。履いているうちに馴染むだろう。
I'll save my thoughts for after this scene's over. But, I think I'm getting a feel for one of the conflicts here. Sorry. Okay.
彼女たちと出会った。
That's our beloved cast. -1. Because the rest of the games, probably this one too, there's the Mayuri cast this shadow over everyone else. Mostly Suo, but also, Yatushiro is, of course, more perceptive than she sometimes lets on. Honestly, I'm really excited to be in and, learn more about her through her narration. She is, as I've detailed before, one of my favorite characters. It's my list is not like 1 and 3 are separated by a big measure by any means, but it's Erika, Yasushiro, and Suo. We'll see how much that changes when I play this game. And again, it's not like there's much separating them by any means, but yeah. It's hard to go wrong with characters in this series. Also, as I was saying earlier, as I hinted at earlier, it seems like that identity crisis is one of the how identity is one of the main inner conflicts of this game. Right, so it seems like Yuzuriha has to put on this she feels like she has to put on this role that she's playing, as the what's the word? The capable student council president. We learned some interesting backstory just now, how she didn't really shoot for that role, but Komikado was actually trying to be the student council president and picked and sort of lost, quote unquote, that role to her. As she said before, they're best friends, so even though Yuzuriha claims that there's no bad blood there, I wonder how that's going to come up later. And Komikado is really gentle, caring. Outwardly, she's gentle and caring, in contrast to Yuzuriha's mischievous and flirtatious side. I'm sure that's not all to the story though. She can't be this series has very dynamic characters, so yeah, I feel like I've talked about that too much and I should just let the game do the talking, honestly. I mean, I just last night when I was downloading this, realized how much I missed this series. It's already been 2 years since I played the last game. Time flies, doesn't it?
ごきげんよう。制服とても似合っているね。可愛いと言ってくれた方が嬉しいんだわね。She cuddled up by the window. I was waiting my father to be returning patiently, but my father wasn't returning. You broke your appointment. There was no anger in the case that you broke your appointment. The thought that a chest seems filled up with the free sadness was received. For on her sentiment, large rain has begun to strike a window.
English is a hard language, People who learn English as a first language like myself probably don't appreciate that enough.
この英文はね、
それじゃあこれは
相変わらずだな。人当たりはいいと思うんだけどね。おそらくスオ君と似た性質のものなのだろう。
I was getting the same impression. Like so perfect outwardly that she's unapproachable. Hit it on the head. That is why Suo is so great. Honestly, like that. What's the word? Like her social anxiety is so bad that she misinterprets like the admiration from a distance as like people purposefully isolating her. Obviously she's grown a lot since the first book or the first volume, and she's like very comfortable around like the people that she's opened up to, but it seems like that's something that hasn't changed up until this point. It's like that, like sort of like aloof. Her awkwardness is perceived as like aloofness or like being unapproachable, that kind of thing. I'm talking about Suo, not Komikado, but
佐々木くんたちは別のようだけどね。英語は僕よりもネリーが得意なんだ。聞いてみるとしよう。
あら、ゆずりはどうしたの？
さっき出た英文を尋ねたいそうだよ。教えてあげてほしいんだ。いいかいネリー？
もちろん。いつも気を使わせてしまっているわね。サンドイッチに合いそうだから甘くしてみたわ。嫌だった？
いや、たまにはブラック以外もいい。
良い香り。
甘いのはありがたい。
さあどうぞ。
猫舌じゃないんだけどね。
冷まさないでいつも一気に飲むのですもの。やけどしないか心配なの。はい、どうぞ。
ありがとう。いただくよ。
はい。
ずいぶん今日は積極的じゃないか。
そう？いつも通りじゃない？ほら、早く口を開けて。
積極的なのは嬉しいけどね。
おいしい？
最高だよ。ベーコンは好きな具合にカリカリに調理されているし、レタスやトマトもシャッキリとして実にうまい。それにネリーに食べさせてもらったんだ。まずいわけがない。
確かに美味しいわ。
神は言った。ベーコンがあれば何でも美味しい。
Words of wisdom. Also, would not be a VN without gratuitous description of food. So I'm glad we got that. Let's see if I can use this as a thumbnail shot. If a better one comes up later, I'll use that. But
相変わらずなんだから、もう。ゆずりはのサンドウィッチって BLT サンドじゃないの？
ああ、一種類だと飽きるかなと思って卵サンドも作ってもらったんだ。
卵サンドも美味しいわよね。一口いただけるかしら。ありがとうゆずりは。この卵サンドハム入りなのね。美味しいわ。
やれやれ、そんな年でもないだろ。苦いコーヒーでも飲むか。
そういえば今月末にあるハロウィン、そろそろ用意した方がいいわよね。
ハロウィン。ああ、二階屋の会主催の。もうそんな時期か。
先代の先輩方は10月に入ってからすぐに用意してなかったかしら。
ハロウィンは学院主体ではないからね。先んじて許可を取った方がいいか。
honestly, I'm pretty happy that my laptop can handle this because having YouTube, OBS, and a game open all at once is kind of a lot for my laptop. It was struggling to play the first, when I was playing Summer Volume back in 2018. It struggled with that, and now my laptop's 2 years older. I feel like it's gonna crash on me any moment, but it seems like it's working out pretty well. Fingers crossed that it lasts the game. And then some. I could always transfer my save. I think this game saves to the cloud, but I'd have to set up OBS and everything again. Anyway, let's just hope it doesn't have to come to that. Also, we get an indication that that opening scene took place probably chronologically at the end of this game, since we're at the beginning of October, and the Halloween party took place on Halloween, I'm sure. So yep, lots of stuff seems to happen between now and then. Ah yes, the Feast of the Assumption. what an odd festival, honestly, or what an odd event. Almost feels like a cult.
私たちは衣装を用意すれば済むという話ではないし、まあ各部活動からの協力の取り付け、パーティーを開く場所を開放してもらうため許可を得なくてはならないしね。会場は前回と同じくダイニングルームでいいかしら。パーティーに花を添える料理などの用意の手前もあるからね。変わり映えしないが致し方ないだろう。今回も料理部の方たちにはお世話になってしまうわね。なに、料理部としては晴れ舞台だからね。面倒とは思っていないよ。飾り付けは手芸部、あとは有志と我々とで。特に面白いことを言った覚えはないんだけどね。いえ違うの。1年生の時料理部だったゆずりはがハロウィンに料理を振る舞ったでしょ。あの時。やめてくれ。全然そんな気はないのに、ケーキの飾りがハロウィン用だと間違われて。あの時のことは忘れてくれ。頼む。そのまま賞賛を受けた。ごめんなさい、つい思い出してしまって。いつまで笑っているんだか。だが今回は笑えないような素晴らしい出来の料理を作ってみせると約束しよう。今度は白羽さんのご指導があるものね。どうしたの？いや、そういえば最近料理部の方、佐々木さんたちの仲がいいわよね。
That sounds kind of important. Last month, huh? Doesn't seem like that was part of the previous game, since it was probably in, maybe it was, August. I don't know. They'll probably come back to it. Honestly, I don't remember I know, it's a grievous sin on my part, but I don't remember everything that happened in the second game, or especially the first game, for that matter, even though I've played through it a couple of times.
それはゆずりはは相変わらず後輩に懐かれるわよね。
Okay, so we get our first choice, which means, oh man, how dare I not have a save yet. Also, yeah, it seems like, whereas like the other, like, okay, so, what, Rapunzel and okay, I'm making myself look really bad here, but, Sleeping Beauty, I don't know, the one with Princess Aurora in it, in Summer Volume, those were like the two main, like, literary references that, like, that Summer Volume took inspiration from, whereas the first volume pulled from like a whole bunch of places because, you know, Suo is that well read and she can just like rattle off references like that. It seems like the overarching reference in this game is Wizard of Oz, as I failed to touch on earlier. I mean, Wizard of Oz is of course a universally popular and beloved piece of work of art. part, so, you know, we all know how that story goes. So I'm interested to see how it's referenced here. But yeah. I forgot for a second that I actually have to make choices that impact how the story plays out here. Okay. I know in previous games, whatchamacallit, I mean, you have to, like, make the right choices, even if, like, you solve the mysteries correctly and what have you, you have to make the right choices in order to, like, get the ending you want. Now, in previous games, like, this is a very familiar mechanic, that's signature to the series, but I'll just go over it again, just in case, but this flower here, or it's right now it's just like a bud, but this flower bud here in the corner indicates like your progress, as far as like the choices that you make, and for every choice that you make it'll turn either, I think, green or probably orange, and usually orange is associated with the true route, but I mean, obviously, okay. I don't know, the opening hinted that Komikado is like the main romance in this, right? But then again, not all of the choices are like that surface level or obvious, right? So, it seems like the other like romance route in this game is like one or both of the Sasaki twins. I don't know, I'm probably gonna go back and redo that, because usually orange means right, or orange like leads towards the true ending, and obviously you can track your progress by seeing how much the flower here grows in the corner. So I'm gonna go back and change it, and I'm gonna go look it up later to see just like what choices will lead me to the true route, not like what choice specifically, but which color like corresponds to the true route, and see if I can like make the right choices without spoiling myself and everyone else, right? Okay, so yeah, there's me making the wrong choice. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, throughout the series it's been like orange for true route and green for alternate, right?
I
mean, you know, I'm a sucker for the childhood friends romance, but, you know, and I will admittedly be slightly disappointed if that's not the true ending, but I will still, I mean, I've heard some things, you know, about the direction that this series takes, so, nothing concrete, of course, because I don't know, like, anything, like, plot-wise, but, yeah. Let's just keep going. I chose orange, so we'll just roll with that.
まるでお野菜を選ぶみたいよ。あ、でも。
I'm looking it up real quick before I have to make any other choices, honestly. Give me Okay, I found a walkthrough guide. Alright, you know what, I'm gonna look this up later. Because I am just by doing that, I'm putting myself at risk for huge spoilers, so I've been lucky so far.
新しく知り合った1年生たちは本当にいい子たちですものね。選べない理由もわかるわ。
It seems like how things are right now, even if you went for like the flirtatious option, which is like, you know, the option that I chose first, she would probably like laugh it off, because that's just kind of how they interact.
仲良くなりたい子はいるわ。でもなかなかお会いする機会がなくて。
今の言い方だと同じ合唱部員の花火師くんはお呼びじゃないということだね。
あ、違うわ。花火師さんとは仲良くしていただいているけど、他のことももっと話したいと思っているだけよ。
分かっているさ。これはさっきのケーキのお返しね。そろそろ戻ろうか。食器を置いてこなくちゃならない。
そうね。でもコーヒーはもう一杯だけ。
Also, new sprites, you gotta appreciate that.
同じ部屋ならいつでもネリーのためにコーヒーを入れてあげるのにな。
Wait, are they not amity partners? I did not know that. They definitely act like they're amity partners.
ごきげんよう。今日も元気そうだね。
I was wondering the same thing, since, you know, that is, like, unsurprisingly an overarching theme in this series.
確か一目惚れ。
ごきげんようです、八代先輩。
That's not subtle at all, but I appreciate it, because, you know, we
ス
know.
オ君笑えないな。ああ、ごきげんよう、リンゴくん。
Yep, you can just tell who you are, just you're familiar. Like, at this point, you should be familiar. Like, I'm familiar enough with these characters that, you know, you can tell who's who. Just, like, everyone has a very distinctive voice, not from a writing perspective, but just how they sound, you know, in the literal sense.
お花のお世話ですか。いつの間にかお水を変えられていたのは先輩がしていたことなのですね。
ああ、もともと僕が持ち込んだものだからね。
I'm gonna do one more Google search and see if I can find the answer quickly. I guess it's not a completely blind playthrough. I always do this, but oh man, I swear I'm gonna regret this. Like I always like look up how to get the true route beforehand. It's been consistent across games, right? As I mentioned before, like it's orange for true route, green for alternate, but oh man. Well, I learned something new today. Oh man, I might have to go back. Shoot. Okay, so what I read was, it's the, I guess, for fear of giving too much away, it's different this time around. Yeah, I might have to go back and watch my old videos or boot up the old games to see, but I don't know, well, you can rationalize either, like picking either answer here, but, or during the previous choice, but I don't know, I honestly don't know what my approach should be, because, well, when, like, playing, Volume 2, Summer, you can kind of, like, miss choices, right? Because, like, you know, the choices correspond to a color, and, like, if you choose enough choices from one path, then you get, like, the ending that you want, right? And there was room for error, like, you could, you know, you could accidentally choose one wrong if you had a misunderstanding, or you just misinterpreted the situation, or what have you. This time, it doesn't seem like there's room for error, so yeah, knowing that, I think I'm gonna go back and just like skip through up until now. I know, not the most genuine playthrough, but honestly, like I can't see myself like doing 5 playthroughs of this game to like get each ending, you know. So yeah, let's do it. Also, we're already an hour in, so I can't really see myself finishing chapter 1 just in one go. I'm probably gonna go and come back and finish it up. Probably tomorrow. I have a lot of free time, so yeah. I guess the flirty answer was the
Neri.
でもありがとう、ゆずりは。
There we go.
もともと僕が持ち込んだものだからね。
そうだったのですか。新しいお花になっていたりしたのも。桜木先輩とかが持ってきたと思っていましたが、意外でしたね。
当然だな。
でも八代先輩なのは意外ですけど納得です。先輩、お花好きですものね。
え？
だってガーデニングの選択授業でご一緒した時、表情が柔らかかったですよ。それに花柄お好きですよね。
You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward? I'll be here all week. Okay. Now I can safely save over this. So, as far as usually how I go about saving these is one important save file per chapter, so I can go back just in case. But usually these options correspond to like, that's something else I wanted to touch on. Is like one of the two like romance routes in the game, or in each game in the series, I should say, corresponds to like character growth as well, because like getting with one character, like getting with one character sort of like is synonymous with character growth, and the other one is kind of like maybe not so much stagnation, but like I can't speak to it too much because I haven't played through every single route, but yeah, the point is that like the true ending, quote unquote, usually corresponds to character growth. I'm interested to see if that's the case here. As in, like, you know, Yuzuriha has kind of like conflicting. There seems to be like a contrast or a dissonance between how she sees herself and how other people see her, like the image that she's forced to keep up. So, all right, there we go. There's the honest answer.
実は花を育てるのが趣味なんだ。らしくないだろ？
なことないですよ。八代先輩がお花を世話するのってすごく絵になります。
そうかな。
You know, I would say that Ringo was the one in the intro. It sounded like her as well, right? But if you remember, in the first game, one of the mysteries involved, like, you know, it's Ringo and Ichigo switching places, basically, to, like, pull off this, like, elaborate scheme that they had planned. They're obviously capable of imitating each other, and I feel like that combined with, the whatchamacallit, like with like the identity crisis that Ichigo/Ringo was displaying in the beginning scene, makes that even more like ambiguous and confusing. I feel like it would, like, the answer of like who's who is would be there if I like looked into it enough, but we'll just leave it up to let the game like tell us for now. I'm not going to do that much speculating. I've already done a lot of speculating, but I'm not going to go that far. I'm just saying it's like interesting. There's like room for ambiguity, you know. And I like how that opening scene plays off of that.
はい。お花を世話している優しい顔、私としては好きです。
そう言ってもらえて嬉しいよ、リンゴくん。
このお花ってなんて名前なんですか？
クジャクソウだよ。秋はカビではないが、つつましくも愛らしい花が多い。
そういえばコミカド先輩もお花の名前で秋の花ですよね。
Oh, the language of flowers. I do appreciate that.
ネリね。ダイヤモンドリリーだね。日の光を受けると花弁がキラキラと輝き美しい花だ。つつましやかな愛らしさではないけどね。
コミカド先輩らしい花ですね。
リンゴくん、僕が花の世話をしていることは、
はい、二人だけの秘密にしますね。
Yeah, they're both pretty cute. It's pretty much a given, especially that new sprite that Ringo has, and blushing Yuzuriha, which is not a very common sight up until now. I'm sure it's something we'll see more here. It's an interesting observation.
だからどうしたというわけではないがね。
やっぱり先に来てた。待っててって言ったのにひどいよリンゴ。ごきげんようです、ゆずりは先輩。はあ、制服似合ってますね。かっこいいですね、ゆずりは先輩。
以前と比べてスキンシップが多くなっている気がするな。ゆずりは先輩か。
ゆずりは先輩、柔ら温かいです。スタイルもいいし憧れますよ。
君もあと1年ほどすればすぐに追いつくさ。それにいちごくんも似合っているじゃないか。以前の制服も良かったが白い制服も可憐に見えるね。
ですか？実は私的にも似合っているなって思ってたんですよ。
当然リンゴくんも可憐だよ。まるで真相のご令嬢のようだ。ダンスを申し込みたいところだよ。
足を踏みつけてしまうかもですけど嬉しいですよ。リンゴの方が褒められてる気がする。不公平ですよ。
おやすまない。そんな気はなかったんだけどね。
でもゆずりは先輩からセクシーになれるお墨付きをもらったし、今でも十分大人っぽいってことだよね。今のでお分かりになったと思いますが、姉は少し目が悪いのですよ。なんでだよ、目すごくいいよ。両方とも 2.0 だよ。なんだか釈然としない褒められ方なんだけど。
And yet, that is probably what they're known for the most around the academy.
八代先輩に頭を撫でてもらえるとかレアですね。頭を撫でられるのって子供っぽいから嫌だけど、ゆずりは先輩になら嫌じゃないかも。
それは上々。
さすが学院一の人気者です。女性との手なずけ方を知っていますね。
Yeah, she's not wrong. Honestly, Yuzuriha cannot resist. I swear.
ゆずりは先輩モテるもんね。あ、そうだ。ずっと聞きたいと思っていたんですけど、ゆずりは先輩はどんな女の人が好きなんですか
Yeah, I mean, I'm not confident in picking this one, but I feel like the move here is to deflect the question and not be like, you know, obviously this would be the funny answer, as in like would get a laugh from probably everyone in the room except for Ringo, but probably not a good idea, so I'm gonna go with, oh, I messed up. Okay, time to go back. Alright, so I misjudged, as I often do. I made so many wrong choices when I've been playing this game, but that's the fun of it. You can just save and go back. That's for another time.
そうだね。僕としてはいちごくんのような乙女が好きだよ。
本当ですか？
可愛らしいし、直接的に好意を示してくれるからね。僕はコヨーテよりロードランナーの方が好きなんだ。
どういう意味なの？追うよりも追われる方が好きだって意味ですよ。
200 IQ reference right there.
遅いな。時計を気にしているようですが、どうかしたですか？
いや、他の部員が来ないなと思ったのさ。今日はもしかして休みなのかと思ったのだが。
そうだ、私たちゆずりは先輩を呼んでくるよう頼まれたんですよ。
But they are easily distracted.
おお、そうでした。私としたことがついうっかり。
Attention span of a leaf. Kind of a big mood though.
うっかりというにはずいぶんゆっくりと喋っていたじゃないか。
今日は食材の調達に行く みんな農場で待っているんですよ。急いで急いで。そうです、のびりしている暇はないんですよ。
大丈夫だ、のんびりと行こう。主役は最後に来るとみんなは分かっているだろうからね。
You know, before I started playing, when I was downloading the game last night, I was like, you know, if Yuzuriha really is the main character, I imagine that like her really like capable and like confident, like flirtatious personality masks a lot of insecurities, and because like one, it's kind of how it is, and two, I really like that kind of character. So yeah, it seems like we're heading in that direction, which is, you know, that's great news, honestly. Can't get enough of it. Probably going to call it around the 2-hour mark, and then just come back and finish chapter 1 later. And by later I mean tomorrow.
図書室で見かけるなんて珍しいですね。白羽はいませんよ。
知っているよ、今の今まで一緒にいた。今日は料理部に顔を出していたよ。
そうですか。からかいに来たが失敗だったかな。
Actually, let me see if I can. I usually have to mess around with the voice settings and what have you, so in previous games, okay, well now we gotta look at our main cast, which is pretty much the same as previous games, but I mean, shout out to those updated sprites from actually everyone, not everyone, our 4 main characters, but yeah, in previous games I had to like raise Sue's like bass voice volume so I could actually hear her. I have to do the same thing here. The music is probably like I think the bass settings are a little bit too loud. I actually will not. I'll just adjust the master and maybe. Yeah, that's good. Because Erica's a little bit too quiet, and also Ichigo is a little bit too loud, so.
あの制服で図書室の師匠をしていたらマジで妖精かゴシックホラーな感じだったのにな。
ああ、恐ろしいほど決まっていたよ。この制服は線の細い子ほど似合う気がする。
その理論からいくと八代先輩はあまり似合わないことになりますね。
僕が太っているということかい？
スタイルがいいってことですよ。まあ確かにバスキア教諭がこの制服姿だと少しいかがわしい店を連想しますね。
相変わらず君は面白い発想をするね。
Yep. There's ever any doubt. Erica just says whatever she wants, has no respect for upperclassmen, and never fails to bring a smile to my face, so yeah. I definitely...
でもこの制服に変わってホッとしましたよ。前より少しばかりスカート丈が長いでしょ。
I definitely missed having her around, even though she was the main character of the last game. So I hope she gets a lot of screen time here. Just, you know, she's just that great.
大事な部分が見えそうで困った？
自分は別にどうでも構いませんけどね。ただ目を合わせなければ私の目線はだいたい相手の腰あたりになるんですよ。
It's the other way around.
確かに目のやり場に困るか。
八代先輩は腰の位置が高いでしょ。今までのやつだと割とハラハラしてましたよ。
The eternal dilemma, it seems.
そうか、うかつにターンもできない。ようやく動じたね。
Also, the updated sprites are what Erica deserves as well.
先輩がやるとシャレにならない。噂を立てられたらまずいでしょうに。
僕は構わないよ。君はお気に入りだ。
私が構うんですよ。
Yeah, her amity partner is her girlfriend, so if the last VN is anything to go off by, or to go by.
料理の本だよ。ハロウィンに出す料理を研究中でね。
Boning up, huh? Is that a thing that people say?
ハロウィン？
知らないのかい？最近は日本でも割とメジャーになりつつあると思ったんだけどね。お菓子をもらいに家々を。
いや、ハロウィン自体は知ってますよ。じゃなくて八代先輩がパーティーを開くのですか？
Seems like it's a big deal, you know, it's a big thing. Well, school events are always, you know, in these high school settings, they're always kind of like that. They're that event, not surprisingly. Also, since, you know, this school is basically cut off from reality, all the more so.
ああ、収穫祭のような。
どちらかというとオリエンテーリングにカテゴライズされるね。収穫祭は学院の主催、ハロウィンは二階屋の会が催すものだ。その通り。ハロウィンにふさわしいものはないか探していたところさ。そうだ、八重垣くんはパーティーで食べてみたい料理はないかね。
食い道楽なんでそういう質問をされると悩みますね。そうだな、一度映画で見たバターボールを食べてみたいですかね。
バターボール？それは飴だろ？パーティーには向かないような。
ああ、普通はそっちか。私の言うバターボールは揚げバターと言った方がいいですかね。
More of a brand of fair food, and well, it's worth trying for the novelty of it.
バターに衣をつけて油で揚げたものなんですよ。
Very decadent, though.
尋ねておいてなんだが、乙女的にカロリーの観点から言って難しそうだな。
そうですか。それじゃあその前に八代先輩が好きな料理はないんですか？それにすればいい。
So there was that pancake scene in the last game. Though I'm struggling to remember if that was Erika's favorite food or Yuzuriha's favorite food. My memory is that bad. It's already been 2 years. Why don't we go with a straightforward, direct answer? Alright, I'm what, 2 for 4? I think it was Yuzuriha's favorite food, actually, now that I have the confirmation.
パンケーキかな。
お、パンケーキですか。確かに飾り付けしやすそうだし、ハロウィンに合いそうだ。それでいてうまい。
八重垣くんのお墨付きが出たね。
また料理部で味見に呼んでくださいよ。待ち合わせでも？
ああ、これから2階屋の会で会議だよ。九段のハロウィンのことでね。
部がある時でも休めないんですね。年中無休か。
このご時世、定休日なんてあったらやっていけないからね。
We live in a society, huh?
そうだ、もう一つ質問しよう。ハロウィンでの出し物だが、どんなものがあったら面白いと思う？
出し物。お化けの格好して料理を食べてお菓子をもらいに回るだけじゃないんですか？
基本寮のダイニングホールを借り切って行われるんだけどね。去年は個人で占いの館をやっている者もいたな。へ
え、ならそうだな。
Yeah, no kidding. She banters pretty well with pretty much everyone who's not Tsuo, who she has a soft spot for, as we all should. Erika does, I mean, but you know, she puts up a lot. She puts up a front, definitely. Like a lot of characters in this game too, right? It's very relatable, but her front is that she's like, you know, she's very blunt. Well, that's not even a front. That's just that's just how she talks, you know. That's just how she interacts with people. Not very willing to like change that for anyone, right?
階段ね。
うわっ！高崎くんの意見は階段の披露か。確かにハロウィンパーティーには合いそうだ。
お久しぶりですね、八代先輩。
最近は忙しくてバレエ談義はできなかったね。
おい、人のことを脅かしておいて無視か？無視をしていたのはエリカでしょ。エントランスで待っているって言ったのに全然来やしないのだもの。迎えに来たのよ。そうか、悪い、先輩と盛り上がっちまってよ。
それで八重垣くんの意見は？
そうですね、パーティーなら賑やかしは必要か。バンドみたいな？ガールズバンドか。今さら何十番煎じだよ。乗り遅れるにも程があるぞ。
I beg to differ, honestly. Girls fans franchises are more popular than ever, especially on the animated front. Just look at how popular Bang Dream is.
天国への階段を歌うエリカが見られると思ったのだけど。
That would be quite the sight. Honestly, I would love to see that.
僕は移民の歌が好きだ。ブロディを思い出す。
That's the Led Zeppelin discourse we all deserve.
そうだな。僕は。
Yeah, that would be quite the follow-up, honestly, to the ballet performance they put on, and the live reading, the theater reading that they did in the last volume. Yeah, band performance of Stairway to Heaven. That would slap. Okay. I want to go with the band idea. Honestly, that is the funniest image, especially for this series where, like, you know, everything is taken so seriously, and like there's this air of like conducting yourself properly, and like at the academy they even have classes on like how to act, like proper etiquette and crazy stuff like that. So no way that would fly. So if we're talking about like context here, there's no way that this would work. But it would be, I just kind of want to dig it for the memes. But if this ends up being the right one, you know, I'm not even gonna complain. But we're gonna go for the more practical option.
怪談話というのはいいかもね。時期外れなことを除けば。
This academy has more than an experience of ghost stories, though. Or more than its fair share of ghost stories, I should say.
八代先輩、怪談が夏だけのものというのは浅はかですよ。怪談は夏よりも秋冬の方が多いのです。寒い時期の怪談は夏とは別種の趣があって、
ネリーといい、リンゴくんといい、女の子はホラー話が好きなのだな。
その言い方だと私たちが女じゃないって言ってるみたいですよ。
それでここからが興味深いんですよ。
勘弁してくれ。
私のおすすめは雪山のお話で、雪山登山をした大学生2人の話なの。頂を踏破することはできたのだけど、下山する途中に1人が足を捻挫してしまって。
Yeah, we got a great dynamic going on here. Completely unaware, Chidori here, Erica, who did not ask for this, and Yuzuriha, who, along with us, is part of the Peanut Gallery. You gotta love it.
その日のうちに山を降りることができなくなってしまったの。日が暮れそうな時、ようやく山小屋を見つけて。
目のやり場に困ると言っていたものな。
Hey, you know what they say, show don't tell, right?
いやだからな。
それはエリカの考え方が古いのよ。
いつか私もあんな風に。
八代先輩？
先輩、話聞いていましたか？
ああ、八重垣くんと高崎くんの意見、とても参考になったよ。
それは良かったです。
そろそろ向かわないとまずいな。
二階屋の会の会合だよ。年中無休だ。店長は大変ですね。
定休日が欲しいが、そうもいかない。
Well, that was fun. I always down to see best
本当
characters
に高
interacting.
崎くんの案が通るなんて。
Their best characters, as in Erica and Chidori, who is up there, honestly, you know. Looking at her now, she's definitely grown a lot from her introduction in Volume 2. She really tried her hardest to not to be likable, but, you know, she's a really good character overall. If, you know, shout out to myself and my own playthrough of that game that I did 2 years ago when that game came out. If you want to see my thoughts, I mean, link is, like, I have a playlist that I, you know, might link in the description of this video, so.
怪談話大会とはね。
Chidori was onto something. One sec. Here we go. I need a proper link. I need a proper stream link, just in case I want to send it out whenever I'm streaming.
Ih, ぜひ催しの一つに入れましょう。
まあネリーの喜ぶ顔を見られるのは結構なことだが。感
謝しているわ、ゆずりは。
やめてくれないかネリー。心臓が口から飛び出すかと思ったよ。
ゆずりはを驚かせられたわ。
まったくハンガーゲームじゃないんだぞ。
何？
映画だよ。不意打ちばかりされているなってことさ。それより肌着じゃないか。まさか僕が来るまでじっと潜んで待っていたのかい？
Hunger Games is that is an inspired reference, honestly, but, you know, as we've talked about this series is always on point with its references.
違うわ。ゆずりはったら服を脱ぎながら考え事をしていたじゃないの。それに肌着なのは一緒でしょ。
そうか。こいつは
Yeah, no kidding.
大きくなったわね。
ああ、ネリーも大きくなったよ。
Yeah, if there's a splash screen here, it might get me demonetized, honestly. Not like I'm making any money off this anyway.
そろそろいいだろ。服が脱げないよ。
残念。
いたずらばかりしていると二階屋の会のメンバーに示しがつかないぞ。
二人だけの時しかしないわ。ゆずりはは甘えさせてくれるから好きよ。
親バカな父親になった気分だよ。やっぱりおっぱいは大きくないとな。
何を悪巧みしているの？
Could this get me demonetized? I don't know, honestly. Does it matter? Not really. As long as it doesn't get my account banned, which it won't.
そんなこと考えていないさ。ただ素敵な光景だなってね。
素敵？目が何か企んでいる感じだったわよ。
八重垣くんも魅力的だが、これだけは唯一無二の弱点だな。
八重垣さんがどうしたの
Man, Yuzuriha really has those, she has those wandering eyes. Isn't that the case? Hey, how's it going?
そうだっ
Glad you
た
could,
の。このところ行き合えてないからまたお話がしたいわ。
glad you can make it. I'm probably gonna like usually I like to like do one chapter like per stream, but it seems like this one's gonna go pretty long. So I'm probably gonna come back and finish it tomorrow since I'm completely free tomorrow. So I can finish up as I see fit. I actually wanted to take the opportunity to talk about like at the beginning of this game, like during the intro like cinematic, not the cinematic, but one of like the intro scenes, there's a what did you miss? Okay, well, how much do you know about flowers like in general, because this is the third game in the series, and even though you can technically, like, I guess you can start like at any point, but like the series has recurring characters and it just focuses on different protagonists. But I just started this game, so we're still on chapter 1. But basically the main character is the girl in the gray hair, Yuzuriha Yatushiro, and she is like the sort of like, she's the really like composed, quote unquote mature, like good-natured and like kind of like flirtatious president. That's like her personality. She's very outgoing, and like it seems like the conflict here is that like she has feelings for her, the girl with the blonde hair, Komikado, who is like her childhood friend. They are like they've known each other for a long time, obviously, but like, you know, it seems like Yuzuriha wants like things to stay the same, is kind of like a theme that was touched upon already in the beginning, like in like the sort of overarching narration, and also she's mentioned it explicitly like up until now. So I think like that's probably something that's getting in her own way, is like her fear of change, which seems to be a theme that we're gonna have to deal with like in this game basically. But yeah, that's just my guess. I mean, I'm just speculating. I don't really know like how this is going to go, or like even if we're gonna like get like the sort of ending that I expect, even though like Komikado seems to be, I say that with air quotes because like, you know, with visual novels you can never really tell, but yeah, like I don't know if they're going to end up together is basically what I'm trying to say.
図書室ではハロウィンパーティーでの議題について意見を聞いたよ。
And their dynamic is like, they're like top of the class, they're both really smart, part of the student council, but there's like this idea that's like, oh, you know, Yuzuriha is like not, she seems to have like a bit of imposter syndrome basically. She's not like the same person as like the image that she puts forward basically. She's not as composed or like capable or like even like upstanding as like people think she is. So that's probably something she'll have to wrestle with in comparison to Komikado, who is pretty much perfect as far as I can tell.
そうなの。ああ、だから階段の話が出たのね。
And yeah, they're planning a Halloween party, which is like one of the major school events in the school that they go to, because you know the school that they go to is like very isolated. It's like in the forest. It's like a Christian school, like a Catholic school, I think. So like really, and they can't leave unless it's for the summer. So actually can't. Yeah, they can only leave during like holidays and breaks and stuff. So these kinds of things are the only things that they have to look forward to. They're very isolated.
階段は八重垣くんの意見ではなくてね、高崎くんの方なんだよ。彼女は怖い話に目がないらしい。
まあ、そうなの。お話が合いそうだわ。
And yeah, I mean, the series, I think like the biggest thing that this series has going for it, I talked about this like in the intro, but like this series has like aesthetically it's amazing. Like the character designs, like the art is like really beautiful. The music is like A+. I suggest you go back and watch the opening cinematic. It's like on Steam and probably on YouTube. Also, I recorded it here. But those always like, you know, I felt that, you know. And also like the screenplay is really good. Or screenplay, but I mean like the dialogue is great. Like each character feels like lived in. They feel developed. They feel like their actions are like their actions feel earned basically. So that's like the dialogue and like the character interactions, I think, are like the biggest strength of this series, and it kind of has to be like that, right? In like a setting like this. Though, I will say that what do we call it? What was I saying? I mean, everyone's going through something, and as visual novels tend to go, you know, everyone has their own like internal conflict they have to deal with, and it seems like this time around.
八重垣さんも怖い話を嫌いではないと聞いているし、今度お二人を誘ってお風呂で語り合いたいわ。
それはどうだろうか。
そうなの？もしかして恥ずかしがり屋さんなのかしら。
それもあると思うがね。とある情報通から聞いた話だと、八重垣くんは胸が小さいのを気にしているらしい。僕やネリー、そして1年生の中では一番だろう高崎くんの3人に囲まれて、湯船で語らうのは酷というものではないかと思うね。
Yes, very, very.
そうなの。お胸が。
The course. If you're here for R18 scenes, you've come to the wrong place, because up until now, no. Like in the first two games, there aren't any. I didn't like get a content warning when I downloaded this from Steam. I'm pretty sure this game like pretty firmly has a T rating, so no. And obviously, I would not be playing this on YouTube if it was the case, right? Besides, like I said, the game has plenty of other merits, like you don't need an H scene to like enjoy a game like this. There's plenty of other things to like. And kind of like tying into that, the way that I like to play this game is like, because the game like the strength of this game lies in like its screenplay and its dialogue. Usually, I like to let the game do the talking. I don't like to talk over the characters when they're talking, or like when important scenes are going on. I probably won't interject, because I think like that's the kind of attention that this game deserves. So.
思いやりのある幼馴染と知り合えて僕は嬉しいよ。
何？
いや、やはり二階屋の会の会長はネリーがなるべきだったと改めて思ったのさ。神の御言葉かい？
違うわ。お父様が以前そうおっしゃっていたの。でも私も言葉通りだと思うわ。ゆずりは、あなたは会長という職に選ばれたのよ。でなければ学院のみんなが賛同してくれるわけないでしょ。
やっぱりネリーの方が向いていると思うけどね。
度量が広いのは会長にとって必須よ。ハロウィンパーティーでの怪談大会も許してくれたし。
あれだけなら考えものだが、他の催しの案も通った後だったからね。料理と同じだ。紛れてしまえばなんてことはない。
でも高崎さんと八重垣さん、お二人ともよく一緒にいるのを見かけるわ。本当に仲がいいのね。
初めは反発していたようだけどもね。
そうなの？
似た者同士だから反発するのさ。だがきっと何かつながりを深める出来事があったのだろうね。
That does make me miss Volume 2. Honestly. Yeah, honestly, Yuzuriha is like up there. She's like really, she's like a very what's the word? For lack of a better word, she's great. Like I like outlined her like personality traits, or like how she carries herself earlier, but yeah, my favorite, like Erika Yaigaki is my favorite character easily, but Yatushiro and Suo, who was the main character of the first volume. Yeah.
何かって。ねえ、もしかして八重垣さんと高崎さん、お二人って交際しているのかしら。
それは面と向かって聞いちゃいないが、おそらくは。
Honestly, pretty good that she figured it out just by observing, because they're not like out there with that information. Actually, it hasn't really been talked about. I think it was discussed in the first volume, but like whether you can date your amity partner, your roommate, or not.
そう。ねえ、ゆずりは、あなたは女性同士が付き合うということをどう捉えているの？
それは。
Okay, so here, just a quick. I explained this earlier, but for those of you who are watching now, yeah, I mean, unlike other VNs, which like don't tell you if you've made the right choice or not, or they like tell you by how the characters react to your response, it's not as clear in this game, like whether you made like the choice for the right ending or not. But it is clear with this indicator here in the bottom right hand corner. This flower bud will grow depending on how you answer, and each answer corresponds to a different route. In this game, I had to look it up because it's different depending on the game that you like, the game in the series. But in this game, when the indicator lights up green, it's an indicator towards like the true route, basically. And up until now, the true route has responded to like you being like honest and like direct with how you like the questions that are leveled at you. So that's the approach I'm going to take here, but that's why I saved it, just in case I got it wrong. Okay, so there we go. It turned to green, which means we are still on the right track. Usually it takes a while for like, you have to answer a couple answers in this direction to like get the flower to grow, but we're like 4 or 5 answers in now. But I do like this here. It ties into like the idea that like the persona that she puts out towards like other people that aren't Komikado is like, you know, the upstanding student council president, but she decides to lower that, like drop that artifice here. I think it's good stuff. Pretty simple, but you know.
そうだな。率直に言って羨ましくはあるかな。
そうなの。
ああ、腹を割って話せる友人。いや、親友というのは大切だ。彼女たちの密な関係が僕には羨ましく思えたよ。
そういう意味合いなのね。
Is it?
もしかしてネリーは僕がもっと植物的なことを言うと思っていたのかい？
もう胸が大きいのはコンプレックスだって知っているでしょ。
Of course.
八重垣くんが聞いたら猫の笑みを浮かべながら嫌味を言われそうな言いざまだね。
そういう意味で言ったのではないわ。意地悪だわ。
それで？
そうね。胸筋を開く相手が欲しいと言っていた私だもの。親密な相手は欲しいわ。
お付き合いを受け入れることはできないだろ？
ユズリハは私の心が読めるのね。
いや、相手の記憶が読めるんだよ。
Oops. Sorry. I have to play the
いや、相手の記憶が読めるんだよ。バルカン人みたいに。
Don't want to cut off any lines, you know. Classic Star Trek reference, though.
幸せになる秘訣だ。一番
オスカー・ワイルド？
I did it again.
幸せになる秘訣だ。一番大切なものを決して手放さないこと。いや、父の言葉さ。僕もそう思う。
Funny thing about that, if that was an Oscar Wilde quote, Oscar Wilde was gay, so yeah, Yuzuriha just dabbed on homophobes everywhere, including Kamikado, who, I don't know, maybe it seems like maybe her character arc might be something along the lines of, guys, I'm straight, I swear, you know, like that kind of thing. Like, but not really.
白羽さん、
長湯してしまった。湯あたりしてしまいそうだ。
そうね。
肌が白いから余計に湯だって見える。タコみたいだぞ、ネリ。
肌が白いのはお互い様でしょ。
Yeah, it seems Komikado's got a case of that internalized homophobia.
交際か。
It seems like among the many obstacles that are keeping them from getting together, of which there are many up until just in this first chapter alone, that's probably one of the bigger ones. Yeah, no kidding. Girls got it rough.
"ごめんなさいね、急に頼んでしまって。
いいえ、面倒だなんて思ってませんよ。
秋用の制服は白いから汚れが目立つし、頼むにしても急じゃなければ用意できたのに。
You know, okay, so just a quick refresher since Dahlia showed up. Dahlia sensei is like the, I guess, the face of authority at this school. There are obviously like other teachers and stuff, but she's the only one who like gets any screen time or like voice lines. And she's been around since volume 1. And like outwardly she has this like, you know, she appears to be like really nice and like wants to help and like always interested in other other students' problems and you know, that kind of thing. I've always, if you go back and watch my other playthroughs or if you've seen them already, you know that my opinion of her is not very high. I always feel like she's hiding something, like she knows more than she lets on, you know, or that like she has some sort of ulterior motive. My basis of this is not really like founded in anything, and I think she actually has a romance route where you, if you play Volume 2 and you play as Erica, you can actually romance her basically, but like I don't know if you learn more about her that way. I promised I would do a playthrough of that second route, but I never got around to it. But my basis for that is pretty much just what Suo has this like inherent mistrust of her basically. Suo, the character from, you know, main character of Spring Volume 1, she just like feels uneasy around her for whatever reason, does not like being alone with her, doesn't like interacting with her, and is never explained why, but I think like Suo's like perception is rarely wrong. Like she has like this huge brain, she's super smart, and like her power of deduction is second to none. And I think the same goes for her intuition. So, you know, Dahlia's always been like this, you know, I'm just basically waiting for the other shoe to drop, basically. I've been waiting for that for like 4 years now since I played Volume 1. If I'm wrong about that, then like, you know, sure, I misread her, but like she outside of like maybe Erica's route, which is in the second volume, we still don't know much about her beyond that like outward appearance, you know, or like how she presents herself.
替えの服がないわけじゃなし、大丈夫ですよ。さっさと終わらせてしまいましょう。昨日のやりとりを思い出さずに済むものな。食べ物に対する礼儀がなっていない。食い道楽の八重垣くんが見たら 怒らせてしまいそうだ。
Yeah, honestly, Yuzuriha is like she's like the popular type. She has a lot of fans, basically, because, you know, not least of all, she's student council president. She's tall, she's pretty, and she's like flirtatious. So she's naturally flirtatious. She can't resist herself. So like, obviously, she has a lot of fans. And like that's why I like her too, right? Like, not just that outward appearance, but just like, I don't know. Basically what I just described. It's easy to like her is what I'm trying to say.
どうしたの、やつしろさん。これは収穫時期が少し遅れてしまったみたいね。
時期なんです？
収穫が遅れると劣根、根の一部が裂けて割れてしまったりするの。まだ大丈夫だと思っていたけど、急いだ方がいいわね。
なるほど、奥が深い。
Also at the academy they grow their own food. Just a quick refresher, which is crazy stuff, honestly.
これはこれで趣味にしたら面白そうだ。
It's like ag bio in high school, but a requirement for everyone.
形が悪いだけで食べられないわけではないんですよね。
大丈夫よ。
なら後でスムージーにでもしてみよう。でかいストローでも使って健康化を気取ってみます。
やつしろさんは音調のことをよく理解しているのね。
神のお恵みですね。どうにも僕らしくないな。
Something that was also touched on, like, really just in Volume 1. That's actually a really good question, when this takes place. It takes place in the present day, right? Like, there's references to, like, modern media, like, Yuzuriha makes a reference to the Hunger Games, like, earlier in the chapter, but it takes place at a Catholic school that's basically completely isolated from the real world, quote unquote. Like, it's in the middle of the forest. Like, students aren't allowed to leave like willy-nilly. They can only leave like during holidays and I think like summer break. You know, there's no phones. You can't like bring in outside stuff. It's basically like super isolated, and it's very traditional, I guess the word is. That's a point of conflict in previous games, and it's generally viewed like it more or less drives some students crazy how isolated it is from like the real world, basically. But it's a very interesting choice, I think, and especially like how like detached from like modern technology it is. Really, if you just want my opinion on it, I'd be like, why would anyone want to go here, you know? But here we are.
秋野菜が収穫できる頃合いになったということは、そろそろお楽しみのあれを掘ってもいいということですよね。
掘る？ああ、はいはい、さつまいものことね。天ぷらにすると美味しいわよね。
個人的にはもっとシンプルに焼き芋の方が好みですけどね。収穫祭でのメニューに入っていれば最高なんですがね。
時期が違うのが残念よね。
I don't know. I don't know. Did you tell Dahlia sensei? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, my memory about Volume 1 is really hazy. Because it's been a long time since I've fully played it. But, I think it's talked about where it's like, oh, you know, you probably shouldn't date your roommates, but it's not, like, against the rules. I don't remember, though. I think Dahlia herself, you know, Dahlia sensei said that in Volume 1, but don't quote me on that. But, you know, someone who seems to be a little bit on the conservative side, like Komikado, yeah, I mean, I think she would probably fit right in with with the belief system here.
Sensei wa?
Oh man. Okay. Alright. Here's what I think. I don't think Dahlia would give her like a genuine answer if Yatsushiro went with this, because like, you know, she would just say like what she's supposed to say, but he's like, oh, you shouldn't date your enmity partner, you know. On the other hand, we don't know that much. We still don't know that much about her, so I don't know if she would respond like genuinely here. Okay, so you want. Fair enough. And besides, like, just to reiterate, I'm going for the true ending here, so if this doesn't correspond to the true ending, I'm gonna have to go back and pick the other one, just so you know. But, you know, I'll go with it.
女性同士の恋愛についてどう考えますか?
Yeah, so green corresponds to the true ending and orange corresponds to... I don't know, honestly, but we'll see. But I'll go through with this. I'll go through this just to see what she says, and then I have to go back and change it. Yeah, I mean, at least this game gives you an indicator of how you're progressing, unlike other VNs, where it's like you kind of just go through it, and then at the end you're like, oh crap, I messed up at some point.
考えなしだったな。
高坂さんのことをおっしゃっているのですね。
いや。
Yeah, you know when I said Dahlia knows more, like she's hiding something, or she has some sort of ulterior motive? That's what I'm talking about. Like, my suspicion, which I've talked about before, is that she had something to do with Mayuri, the main love interest from Volume 1, disappearing at the end of which is, I know, spoilers, but honestly, those of you who are fans of the series should be well familiar with that.
八代さん、彼女のことは。
そうじゃない。違うんです。昨日友人と女性同士の恋愛で議論になりましたね。バスキア教諭にはシスターとしての見地から話を聞きたいと思っていたのです。
そうなのですか。
ええ。
確かに難しい議題だわ。わかりました。それではゆっくりと論じましょう。
She deflected it. I knew it. Okay, so ostensibly we don't learn anything by asking that. So anyway, we have to go with the other route option anyway, so let's go back. That's really I don't know if that's a translation thing, or like her situation is so she knows something about Mayuri presently, even though Mayuri's been gone from the academy for like 6 months. I don't know if that's the right way to read that or not. But yes, my dear viewer, if you're wondering about anything I'm talking about here, I would say, you know, go watch like a playthrough of the old games, the first volume specifically, because that's what this discusses in length. But anyway, let's go with this option.
今まで好きになった人はいますか？
チロさんが恋の相談とは珍しいですね。
らしくないですか？シスターのバスキア教諭に何を聞いているんだ。
Yeah, I mean, she's supposed to be celibate, but Dahlia's a big question mark at this point. Who knows?
昨日の自分じゃないんだぞ。
好きな人はいたわ。私がまだ覚悟を決めていない時にね。
バスキア教諭、すみません。ぶしつけな質問をしてしまって。
いいのよ。ねえ八代さん、私はこう思うの。生きることには目標が必要だって。たとえそれが愛でも憎しみでもつまらない賭けでもいい。
Now that does not sound like something a devout, pious Christian nun would say. What did I say? Yatsushiro thinks the same thing.
空っぽにはならないで、八代さん。あなたは
私のようにならないで。国会じゃないが。
どうしました？
いや、今更ながら思ったんですよ。自分が悩みなんておかしいってね。柄じゃない。
そんなことはないわ。ねえ八代さん、悩みが大きすぎることはいけないけれど、少しくらいはあった方がいいのよ。
Someone who sees the best in people would call that behavior caring, or that's just her job as like the advisor and like main teacher in school. Though other people would call that nosy.
確かにそうですね。
え？
悩みがない人生なんてつまらない。何でも叶うとおかしくなる。過去のロックスターを調べればわかることだ。
そういうことではないんですよ。
話し込んでしまいましたね。そろそろ収穫に戻りましょう。
That is interesting though, like asking Dahlia straightforwardly about like, you know, how do you feel about homophobia is basically what she was getting at. Doesn't get you anywhere, but taking the indirect approach, like actually you learn a little bit about, I guess Dahlia, and doesn't help you solve that little problem that she was going through, but not like that's going to be solved. Not like internalized homophobia is going to be solved overnight, right?
あの毛並みはヨゴロウザですね。名前つけてるの？
君たちも餌やりに来たのかい？
ゆずりは先輩、遊びに来たんですか？
何？人参の収穫をしたからね。少しお裾分けってやつさ。
I mean, that's not real. Maybe. I'm just saying that like I don't trust her is what I'm saying about Dahlia. It doesn't help that 3 volumes in and we still don't know like that much about her. And that like Suo's opinion of her, of like mistrust, is the prevailing one. At least that's how I see it. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to wrap this up before 5 o'clock, which is in about 20 minutes. Hopefully we can get to a decent stopping point, and then I will resume this chapter tomorrow. Though I will say that we're getting shades of Volume 2 here with like some very similar like settings and pacing.
それよりも聞き逃せない名前が出たな。この辺りには猫が出るのかい？
ヨゴロウザです。
そうか。固めの猫の仲間がいると見た。
何のこと？
Yeah, they're not referencing American media, so I'm not gonna.
ヒゲよさらばだよ。それよりこの辺にも野良猫がいるのだね。
森深いですからたくさん野生動物はいますですよ。ああ、前イタチとか見ましたよ。
僕もアナグマやハクビシンなら見かけたことはあったんだがね。もともと野生の生き物だもんな。
あ、でも大丈夫です。ウサギさんを襲ったりはしないですよ。
Conveniently labeled, as you can see in the corner here.
ウサギさんを狙わなくとも餌はたくさんあるからですよ。
Cats are nothing if not.
あれ、人参あんまり喜ばないですね。
Cats are nothing if not efficient hunters after all.
葉の方がお好みのようだ。イラストやなんかで人参が好きだという先入観があるから大好物なんだと思ったんだがね。
もう少し来るのが早かったらスオちゃんもいたんですよ。
そうか、スオくんが。
前は塞ぎ込んでましたけど元気になってハロウィンパーティーでの話もしてたんです。
I would have wanted to talk to her too. She hasn't properly shown up yet. Alright, I have to, as usual, I'll probably have to do the same thing when Suo shows up too. Adjust for her voice. Ichiko is a little bit too loud by default.
ハロウィンパーティーでの衣装のことです。あまり裁縫は得意ではないので早くどんな衣装にしようか決めようと話したのですよ。凝った仮装をするなら早く取り掛からなきゃですし、ゆずりは先輩はもう決めたんですか？
そうだな、僕は
Alright, well, last time the flirty approach worked when we were interacting with these two, so let's deflect again. How about?
僕もまだ決めかねていてね。それよりもいちごくんの衣装の方が気になるな。
私ですか？
yeah, she is a natural flirt, as if that wasn't well established enough.
そうか、双子なのだものね。同じ衣装で合わせた方がいい。となると悩ましいな。
その辺で。
Yep, the Sasaki twins are, well, the way I would describe it is that they're like the comedic relief characters. That's doing it disservice, though. They actually have a lot of depth, and it seems like they're main characters in this game, whereas like they've really just been like very obviously secondary characters in the first two games. So yeah, they definitely, like, if the opening scene was any indicator, they have some like identity crisis going on, which is natural for identical twins. But yeah, Ichigo is like the one with the ponytail, and she's like very like boisterous and outgoing, and Ringo is like the one like who's like soft spoken. She's shy, and has one mole under her eye, and while Ichigo has two. That's basically how you can tell them apart.
どうしたんだい？
Also, their names are Apple and Strawberry, which is pretty great.
いちご姉が私のように真っ赤になってますですよ。
Yeah, Yuzuriha needs to be careful about who she flirts with and how often. Who knows when anyone's going to take it seriously.
八代先輩は何を着てもハマりそうで羨ましいです。私としては似合う仮装が少ないので難しいですよ。
そうかい？リンゴくんは怖い話が好きなのだろう？ならすぐに思いつきそうなものじゃないか。
お化けや怪物、妖怪などは知ってますけど、双子でなおかつ可愛いのは少ないのです。
ああ、それは確かになかなか難儀しそうだね。背丈や彼女たちのキャラクターで恐ろしいキャラのものはハマらなそうだしな。
Yuzuriha先輩は何でも似合うからいいですよね。
Personally, I think they should go dressed as one person, as in they stand on top of each other and wear a trench coat.
怖い系の衣装と男装系はね。だが女性らしいのはハマらないだろうな。
男装系が似合うのは美人だからですよ。かっこいいし憧れます。
憧れを抱かれるなんて僕はそんな大層なものではないよ。今の自分は真似から入ったものだしね。
There's some quality lore right there.
まあね、Yuzuriha先輩にも誰かその憧れの人とかいたんですか？
It's hard to imagine that her having that same naivete that mostly Ichigo demonstrates, but we were all kids at some point, huh?
子供の頃、親友が入院し塞いでいた時にとある映画を見たんだ。
映画ですか？
ドキュメント映画さ。マドンナのワールドツアーのものだった。映画ではそのツアーがいかに過酷かが描かれていてね。
There you go. If there was any further doubt that this takes place in the present day, isolated though it is. I mean, Madonna has like a 40-year career, but you know what I mean. Also, kind of want to see that. My best friend was hospitalized. That's a pretty like casual information bomb, honestly, especially because, you know, 99% chance she's talking about Komikado. So I hope we see more of that, and it's not just it too.
その息抜きにスタッフみんなでカードゲームをしていた場面があった。罰ゲーム付きのやつさ。もし負けたら告白か実行を選ぶというね。
Also, after this scene, I'm probably gonna have to call it. Coming up on 5 o'clock here.
つまり秘密のトロかやりたくない事柄を選ばされる。
その通り。たとえマドンナでも例外はない。ドキュメントの中でスタッフが負け、二択から秘密の告白をする場面やきつい実行を選び行われる場面もあった。そしてマドンナも負け、秘密のトロか実行で彼女は告白を選んだ。それは一番愛した人の名前を挙げるといったものだったよ。
Knowing Madonna, I can hazard a guess. Not knowing Madonna, but you know what I mean. Knowing Madonna, knowing what Madonna's image was like.
なんかあまり罰ゲームって感じじゃないかも。
彼女はその時離婚したてだったのさ。僕もスタッフのお題にハラハラして見守ったものさ。そうしたら、私が一番愛しているのはショーン・ペイよと離婚してすぐの元夫の名前を挙げた。
Yeah, I did not know that. That's new information for me. Not really. This is not really the place where I expected to learn that information, but
それはなんというかすごいですね。
she was really going through it, huh?
ああ、カメラが回っている中で堂々と言い切ったんだからね。僕は大勢の前で動じない信念を持つ彼女に感銘を受けたんだ。
Well, yeah, of course they have the same uniform. It's the school. It's like the school required uniform. Earlier, Yatushiro was talking about like they're all custom fitted, and must be nice. But yeah, they actually have one for each season, which is pretty rare. I'm pretty sure most like Japanese schools have like a summer uniform and a winter uniform, whereas they have one for each season, which ties in nicely with each game in the series because like it's a different you get to see the characters in different uniforms each time.
誰の前でも動じない自分。
親友が退院して戻ってきた時、頼れる自分になっていたかったのさ。
Wow, I felt that.
誰かになりたいか。私的にはない発想ですね。わかる。
Oh yeah.
餌も与え終えたようだし、2階への階に向かうとするよ。年中無休の店長はつらい。
Okay, well, I hate to break it to you, but I think this is where we're going to have to stop because this seems to be a little bit of an important plot point. And actually, let's click a little bit farther, and if the scene doesn't break here or the chapter doesn't end, because I don't want to end like right before the chapter ends, but I really have to get going, so let's see. Otherwise, we're going to have to end on this cliffhanger.
これは
Alright, I think that's a good stopping point. If, you know, usual anime tropes are any indication, then she's got a bit of trouble here to run into. Probably a love letter, but, you know, she's definitely the type to get love letters, right? But we'll see. So yeah, that's a lot, and we're not even done with chapter 1, so we've got quite the exposition going on here. There's a lot we've learned just in these these few hours. I've kind of run longer than I expected to, but you know, Yuzuriha like struggles with you know, projecting someone that she's not onto, you know, putting this image out there of someone who's who knows what she's doing and is composed and mature, when she seems just kind of like she's faking it as she goes along. There's Kamikato, who, you know, Yuzuriha probably has feelings for, definitely has feelings for, but is pretty adamantly straight, as she tries to say. And then you have the Sasaki twins, who have this identity crisis going on, and this issue of how to separate, how to whether they should distinguish themselves from one another, or they should just play up that whole identical twins thing. And then of course there's Dahlia Sensei, who knows what's going on in her head. And we've yet to meet some of my other, you know, mostly Suo, who has yet to make an appearance. So I hope we get a mystery to solve at the end of this chapter, which, you know, is always fun to rack my brain and overthink those things. But either way, that's definitely gonna have to be saved for tomorrow, most likely, because I'm free all day tomorrow, and I'd want to get the ball rolling here, as in you know, knock out as much of this as I can, because I miss this series a lot. It's very easy to get immersed in this show, you know. But yes, thank you for coming and watching. I always appreciate you know, the viewer input and the interaction. If you want to come back, if you want to come back and watch some more, I highly recommend going back and at least reading up on the previous games. But I would recommend watching playthroughs, honestly, my own playthroughs, because it's really hard. I think it's hard to it's not hard to understand the appeal of this series, but it's much easier when you see how beautiful it is, and how good the screenplay is, and how lived in the characters feel, you know. So I think the context would really go a long way in helping you know, helping you enjoy this sort of experience. But yeah, thanks for coming. I'll see you soon, hopefully.